All right. Hello. Let us see. Just checking that everything is working. Been a while since last stream, so we're probably gonna have to rebalance audio. Hello, Vario. Nice to see you. Hopefully the game isn't too loud and I'm not too low. Hello, Knight. Welcome. But yeah, practice just finished. Season is about to start. It looks very, very interesting this year. Verstappen is probably going to win, but it looks like we're going to have 3 or 4 teams fighting for second place, which would be amazing from in its own right. But yeah. F1 Fantasy, honestly, we might as well have a quick look at that. I did set up an F1 Fantasy team and someone mentioned it was a thing. Let's see if I can find it. I've been very boring in my choices for my 3 teams. If I can find it, let's see. Yeah, I do have set up an F1 Fantasy team. Just gonna quickly go ahead. Save that, show you. I'm a little bit. I don't want to show my second monitor, unfortunately, so I'm just gonna show you guys a screenshot to make my life a little bit easier. But I might change it a little bit before quali, but I think I have a decent enough starter. Let's see if we can find. I'm looking for. That is not it. There we go. Okay. So this is my F1 Fantasy teams. Again, I've been very cautious, very boring, but it is the teams that I've chosen. I do think Red Bull are going to do well, and I think Max is going to do well. But I think Paris is going to have more of a fight than he had last year, and potentially if he gets mentally destroyed like he did after Miami last year, he's going to have a really tough time. But yeah, I think the Toro Rosso or RB or the B Carb, depending on which you want to look at, I think they're going to do well for their price. I've kind of included them into every team, which is boring. But I basically made Red Bull Light with Merc, with McLaren, and also with the Ferrari and Alonso. I think it's going to be fun. Is it 100% serious? No. I'm just doing this for other things. Using 3 points on a... Yeah. I probably would be. I didn't read the rules properly. I thought you had 3x for every week. I might need to go and fix that. But yeah, we'll do that a little bit later then. But yeah, I thought we'd warm up for the next season with some very, very simple race moments. Have a look at how last season went. I'm wondering if we want to, if there's any race moments in particular that you guys would like to see. Okay, so there's 1 chip a season. Okay, I'm gonna have to go and correct that then, because I think I'm gonna regret it if I do. But honestly, I see this as just a fun one. Can I get rid of my 3x? Maybe not. I do understand, yeah. Yeah, apparently I'm not allowed to remove the triple X, so I made a mistake. At least I can't find a way to remove it, but honestly it's fine. It's just something fun to do at the side. You guys are probably gonna beat me. That's the honest, that's my honest belief, so to speak. But yeah, let's jump into it. I think we'll just start with a very simple Bahrain. 14 laps in Williams. Let's see what we can do. As you can see, I haven't actually done a lot of the earlier race moments. I did Monte Carlo because I was mainly just disappointed that Alonso and Aston couldn't get the win there. Like, Verstappen was a monster in quali, but I felt like Alonso deserved to get his win there. But yeah, I've done a lot of them. Let's get into it. Let's have some fun. Williams, we must earn at least 1 point. And again, this was released before the balancing, so it's going to get fairly interesting. What's my thoughts now that in a few hours we'll have the qualifying round? Honestly, I think while Red Bull didn't look super amazing, Verstappen just is a monster in his own right, so he's probably gonna turn good. The Mercs look good, the McLarens look good, Ferraris look decent, Alonso look decent. I'm hoping for a very close season, but honestly, practice will only tell you so much, testing will only tell you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing how things stack up after quali, but I have hopes that maybe, just maybe, Red Bull might have a fight from a couple of teams this year, particularly if Paris can't perform. So it's going to be interesting. What's my hopes for the next F1 manager? Honestly, I just want more adaptability. Honestly, the best thing that the F1 manager team could have done right now would be in like 2 weeks' time to release a patch for this game with updated cars, updated ratings for the 24 seasons, and have you pick between them, because it would keep people interested in the game at least until summer when 24 supposedly comes out. Hello Rails, who am I hoping to win? Honestly, it would be beautiful if the McLarens did a comeback. Piastri impressed me last year, but at the same time, that is my hope. I see it as a tough fight when you consider that Red Bull has Verstappen. Which sporting directors and F1 manager are the best ones, or top 5? Now you're asking the difficult questions. Basically, with how the pit crews are right now, you're going to need a sporting manager or sporting director with at least 90 in every stat for the most part to get things going. So yeah, that's a bit of a tough question. An editor feature, that would also be nice. Like just having an editor so you can set things up yourself. I think they would release like my team this year to kind of try and bump up, make things more interesting, which would be great. But honestly, they did a lot of fixes with this year's game, and hopefully they can just keep on building on that. That's what I'm hoping for. But yeah, let me know again if my voice is too loud, if the game is too loud, if either is too low, as again, setup hasn't been used in a while. What do I make of Christian Horner messages being leaked and in a nesting with the big boss of F1? I haven't actually seen anything to the leaked messages myself. I know Red Bull said that they cleared him of wrongdoing, but apparently the leaked messages, from what I've read on Reddit, is just, they're pretty bad in their own right, and the F1 does have rules against, you know, selling the name of F1, so I could see that resulting in problems. Let's put it like that. 5% more game sound, we can make that happen. I assume you meant meeting, Robert. Yeah, I don't know. It's the honestly thing that makes sense here now is that unless they release like the full chats with everything instead of just screenshots of certain parts, you can't really make up an opinion. But at the same time, it doesn't look good for Horner. There's a reason why I've started calling him Horn Dog. But it also just reeks of an internal power struggle, so it could turn out the Red Bull has a little bit of an implosion over the course of this season. We'll have to see. Yeah, it looks interesting for sure. And we're probably going to get some updates over the weekend. I'm also a bit surprised that the race is on a Saturday today. That really messed with me. But let's see here what we can do for this challenge. So there's a bunch of hard runs ahead of us. We're on a soft tire. 15 laps to go. 80%. I think we're just going to run them light, boys. So we need to score 1 point, which means that Albon is going to be our breadwinner, and Sargent is going to be the funny guy. But yeah, the way that the tires work now, running the softs light here is probably going to be faster than running them on attack. I do remember when I used to stream weekly and then time just messed with me. It was either I stream or I don't upload anything for a few days. So I have a little bit extra time now. I'm gonna have a little bit extra time next week, but unfortunately don't expect streaming to come back on the regular, sadly. This is the scenario when Tsunoda's most dangerous. Yeah, I think we're just gonna have to settle in behind him, honestly, and use him as kind of a pulley. Because he is on the same kind of tire, but if we can keep our tire more alive by the time we get to the end, I think we can still make something out of this race. And even Gasly might end up falling a little bit away here. So we're being a little bit careful, but that's basically how you have to play it now. On high deck tracks, you have to take care of your tires rather than go full speed. Me, the race is usually 3 AM on a Monday. Oh, that sounds painful. Where do you live then? Australia? No, that's... maybe. I don't know. I would love if they added F2 and F3 as well. That you can kind of work your way up, start as an F2, F3 manager, and then become, over time, a F1 manager. That would be fun. That makes sense, no bros. But yeah, like we give you guys shit for that one race a year in Australia, but we have to wake up in the middle of the night. But you guys have that every single like Sunday. That is painful. That's like Cecil Williams didn't upgrade the car in all season 1. Put a lot of focus into research for this season and now challenging for P7, P10. That's not bad. It's good progress. But yeah, it is actually viable to go for no research at all, but I probably should go ahead and push a little bit of fuel here and catch up to the guy in front. I did focus a little bit too much on chat there, and Tsunoda ran away. Let's see if we can catch up. But yeah, I don't think we'll have any troubles catching up with energy, with fuel and everything. I think it'll be fine. We've already done it. So we'll go back to, well, we'll push a little bit more. I need to get within a second so I can actually get the RS to more easily stay with him. But at the same time, we're still going to take care of our tires. We already have a 7% advantage. There's not many laps left, to be fair. But at the same time, the tire degradation around here is pretty high. And the difference between even your softs, 400s a lap. So you can get pretty strong here. Who do I think will get pole? That's a good question, honestly. Who do I think is gonna get pole? Would it be silly if I said... I kind of want to say Alonso. But that's just a dream. In terms of pole, let's face it, Verstappen is the most likely candidate, because I still don't think the Red Bulls have turned up their engines or done anything to prove how good the car actually is. That's just how much faith I and most of the people who watch F1 have in what's his name? The Red Bull genius. Yeah. I think Verstappen is going to take pole if they get the downshifts and everything fixed so he doesn't complain about that. Or was it upshifts? There was one problem they had, down or up, that he didn't like. But yeah, I do think Verstappen is a good candidate, but honestly the McLarens, the Mercs, the Ferraris, there are many potential candidates to pole. So I'm looking forward to quali just to see who actually does it. But I think Leclerc is someone to look out for. Alonso, Hamilton, Verstappen, of course. Paris could surprise us, but honestly, again, it's a hard one to say because no one has really gone all in yet, if that makes sense. Okay, let's get full attack. Let's see if we can catch Gasly for an additional point. Turn you up to aggressive. It's easy knowing I was unlikely to get anywhere near top team. Yeah, Lawson has pretty good growth, Robert. That's not a bad upgrade. Let's see if we can actually catch Gasly here. We are getting closer. I think if we deploy ERS on this lap, so we can get close, and then just use DRS to overtake, it would be viable. But yeah, the biggest thing that has surprised me this year is actually the Alpines, in terms of how bad they've become. Honestly. We're not actually gaining enough here, unfortunately. The fact that the Alpines have fallen backwards as hard as they have, the estimated to be 10 kilograms overweight, is insane. I worry for them. Let's just put it like that. Okay, looks like we should be decent here for both cars. Sargent should be able to get show. Challenge should be able to be met, but unfortunately, I don't think we have what it takes here to catch Gasly. Probably should have gone attack a lap or so earlier. But even then, 2.8 seconds is a little bit too much to hope for. But yeah, unfortunately, Alonso doesn't look like he's going to get that third place that he got in... Was it third place? I think it was. He got a podium at least. In actuality, unfortunately.
Over the finish line, and
still a good result here.
P12. I think that was.
So I hope that Red Bull wins less than 10 races, or less than 21 races. I hope we have more fight for the wins, honestly. I will genuinely say I do very much hope that we have more than just one driver and one team dominating. That would be nice to see. Yeah, Albano pulled it off. Unfortunately, scenario did not go as we expected. Go back to main menu and have a look at the next one. Yeah, I believe Alonso came third initially. And that would be correct. But it wouldn't surprise me if we see something similar to this, where we see Red Bull kind of winning everything but Singapore. Well, maybe not Singapore this year, but we'll have to see. Because Red Bull hasn't been super good in practice and quali. The odds of Verstappen winning 17 out of 24, I probably would take that bet, to be fair, Snow Bros. It doesn't sound super unlikely, that's the thing. So Jeddah, another 1, 2, 3, same setup, just Paris and Verstappen switches places. We're gonna do Alpha Tauri, Arabian Night. Sonoda must finish higher than 11. I love that stat, by the way. Sonoda has an insane amount of 11 place finishes. That is actually kind of sad. As someone who's new to F1, can I explain why Red Bull's team is so much better than everyone else's? So, a few years ago, there was a switch in the regulations. Basically, that mean that every team had to do... Yeah, Adrian Newey is basically the easy answer. But basically, everyone had to make a new car. Red Bull made the best car to begin with. Some of the other teams made some mistakes that they had to correct. But since Red Bull had the advantage from the get-go, and the cost cap limits how much you can invest, basically Red Bull has just kept on kind of rolling with that. And the fact that Adrian Newey is basically a genius when it comes to making race cars, they've been able to hold on to that advantage. And Verstappen is arguably, you know, the world's best driver. So they've been able to hold on to that advantage because of that. But hopefully we'll see that advantage kind of get a little bit closer this year. That was the point of the cost cap. Basically have no team spend $1 billion in order to win the championships. Yeah. We're going to have another big regulation change for 26, which is a couple of years away. But yeah, that could also change things around a little bit. Hello, Alex. I'm indeed streaming. Yes, today I have nothing on my planner. And since F1 season starting, quali is around the corner, I decided to have some fun with the old race moments. Okay, so we are starting here with Tsunoda. Let's just push both these guys to full push. We have De Vries. Or De Vries, he actually had a pretty miserable time in F1. And we're currently on a hard tire. And I think the strategy is going to be kind of the same as we did last time around. Take care of these tires. Allow Magnussen, who already has tire disadvantage, to just not do anything really. I think all we need to do is just take care of these hard tires and stay within DRS. I think that's going to be the play here. Let's go ahead and put these on though, so we don't cause any incidents. And for the reason, we just put him on balance right away. Yeah. Well, let's be fair. There's no arguable there. You're correct, Snow Bros. Stability and talent, consistency, yeah. Verstappen is an amazing driver. There's no way around it. He is the best Formula 1 driver currently, and he has what is the best car as well. That's basically the Red Bull formula. Now, we're getting him overtaken here pretty quickly, which is not the greatest. But yeah, currently we just need to maintain. So let's see if we can keep that up. Albon and Stroll out. Once in third. Looks like we're going to get kind of the same that we were looking at. But yeah. Sorry for not going all out on the Verstappen praise, but I do agree with you guys. Now getting left behind. Is the Monster Haas that much quicker with even worse tires, or am I misremembering severely? So this could be actually a little bit difficult then, if Magnussen is going to keep on being this quick. Because we are losing a little bit in the corners, a little bit on the straights. That is worrisome. Do I think Red Bull is sandbagging? Yeah, I would think so. Someone did make an analysis on Reddit of some of the testing days, and basically it looked like Red Bull were making sure to refuel their car as much as they possibly could between each... Oh, never mind. The Tsunoda okay. Special. Okay. I think this is when we go just full attack for the last 11 laps.
Keep pushing.
Oh, that's gonna make this challenge a little bit harder. Push flat out, yes. Let's have a quick look here. Can we keep this up until the end of the race? We don't have any hard tires to switches. I can't even see what the expected degradation is, which is something I don't like. Okay, we can do it like this. That actually works. Going full attack should work till the end, and I would assume it's going to be quicker than what we're currently doing. Yeah, just about. This is just 9 seconds quicker, so with a pit stop time involved, so we should just turn them both up to full attack to begin with. That's my mistake. I'm so scared of degradation these days that I'm actually kind of traumatized. You think the car is always meant out to be though? Because last year Verstappen got more points in the second in the Constructor Championship. Yeah, the thing is though, as long as the car suits Verstappen, I think Red Bull is going to be happy. And let's be honest, Perez has a ton of pressure on him this year as well. So if things don't go his way, he's going to be in trouble. Let's see if we can actually catch now with that spin. I am a little bit concerned. Last lap was 33 flank from both drivers. We are gaining less than a tenth a lap. That is bad. That is actually terrible. I think we should have just gone full attack from the beginning. If I end up redoing this, that would have been the play. I agree a little bit with live testing and practice mean nothing until you really see the car in action. I do agree with that kind of, which is why I'm kind of careful with making... I don't want to say like, oh, I know the Toro Rosso is going to be the 5th best team, for instance. Because they do seem quick right now, but we haven't actually seen them in race condition yet, and quality conditions properly. Do I prefer the F1 game now compared to how it launched? I do. I can agree with you, however, that they went a little bit too hard on the pit stop nerf, but the pit stops in the way that they released initially, you could get times down to 1.8 seconds and no chance of errors by the end of the first season, and just maintain that in perpetuity. But they might have nerfed it a little bit too hard, but at the same time, it seems like the way that they've balanced pit stops is based on not changing the engine, ERS, and gearbox, from damaged to undamaged before races, between races and, you know, qualification. Who do I think will take Hamilton's seat at Mercedes? Well, Wolf has been speaking highly of Antonelli, so they could go all in and introduce him, which would be huge. They put a rookie directly in after Hamilton. That could be amazing. We know that Sainz has no real contract next year, same for Alonso, so both of those are options. So I'm looking forward to next year's silly season 2, just with that in mind. But yeah, it doesn't look like we have what we need here to get this done, unfortunately. 4 laps to go, we're gaining less than a tenth. We have gotten closer. So yeah, this challenge, if we just go full attack from the beginning, that would solve that. Do I know of any news? No, I haven't heard any news for F1 F1 Manager 24. 25 would be next year. So yeah, I assume you mean this year's game. Haven't heard anything. I think the only thing we know is that it's gonna be made, but we don't have any info beyond that, basically. So, nothing. Have I seen Offmere play F1 Manager? I have, a few times. Yeah, don't worry, Mario, I understood what you meant. Just wanted to be clear. I've seen Offmere play. He's interesting to watch. I do watch some of his league racing and some of the other league racing. And, well, the driving standards there are kind of interesting. It makes... the race is getting 13th at least. I guess we can take that as a positive. Should also have him push fuel. But yeah, we're not getting Magnussen with that lockup, unfortunately. Yeah, the driving standards in some of those races do make me feel like... what's his name? I need to Google this. As driver... 2021. Mazepin. Some of the yeah, some of the racing in those leagues do make me feel like Mazepin was a saint with the way he drove.
Checkered flag, checkered flag.
Unfortunately, didn't complete this challenge, which is fine. But at the same time, we probably should have been able to. Failed. Well, the top 3 did retain their same ones, which is fine. I would assume so too, Alex, if they keep on doing what they have been doing. But yeah, at the same time, if they wanted to create a little bit of extra PR for this game, just releasing updated cars, updated the driver stats, basically a 24 lineup that you could choose to play with at the start of the season. Just releasing something as simple as that would give them so much more... it would give them more sales, I think. Even if it is like last year's game, just having the updated driver lineup, having the updated cars, just wait until we're done with Jeddah, work for a week, get it out on the 3rd, well, week of the season, boom. That would really, really help with, I think, both sales, which they've been struggling with, but also marketing, to be fair, just word them out. Yeah, I'm looking forward to... hopefully this year's game is going to be good, but at the same time, I don't have my hopes up. The series hasn't been selling as well as they hoped. So there are some limits to what can be done. McLaren Challenge in Melbourne. Piastri's points. Piastri must score at least 1 point in Australia, which was very interesting last year. Let's just put it like that. Last year's race did cause a little bit of mayhem. So Norris is currently in 8th. We have Piastri in 12th. We're halfway through the race, and we are going to have to pit before the end. Let's take a look at the tires here, first and foremost. Soft tires, advantage of mediums for about 15 laps. Well, 14 actually, if you want to be perfect about it. Again, I've gone through this a lot of times, but if you want to calculate this yourself, you take this number, subtract this, you end up with 0 to 80. You see the difference in degradation. This minus this, 0.02. And then you just take that number that you got up here, split it on that, and we end up with 14 laps. You were at this race? Yeah, I how was it actually? because I watched it and it was just red flag so much. Were you that fan that got hit by Magnussen's hit by the Magnussen piece, or were you close to that? Hello, Skitty. So yeah, I think we're gonna do a pretty basic strategy here, where we just go all in on these hards. We're gonna burn them down as quickly as we can, and then we're gonna go onto a soft tire. Oh, maybe not. Maybe we should check what we have available to us before I make decisions. We only have used tires available to us. But even a used soft tire is already 9/10 quicker than a hard. Norris is in a little bit of worse shape. But I think going back onto the medium should be fine. What is everyone else running currently? Everyone's running hards. This stuff around this place are pretty quick here with 19 seconds. Are we going to get rain? No, it's just to scare me, that rain symbol right there. You were at turn 1? Damn, you actually had front like I was about to say your front of the pack seats. I'm doing good. How are you? Top 3 quali predictions. I still think Verstappen's going to quali high. I want to put my money on Verstappen, Hamilton, Alonso would be a very, very entertaining top 3 with Leclerc following in 4th. But honestly, probably swap around. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be pretty close. P1 Max, P2 Leclerc, who's your P3? Is there a way to get Piastri? That would actually be mad as well. I would love to see that. Is there a way to get first in top speed and first in all the cornering? If so, can I explain? You're gonna just have to develop the expertise of your cornering and of your cornering and your top speed, and you're gonna have to sacrifice basically cooling and dirty air. You're probably gonna have to develop the car over more than one season, depending on which team you start with. Then Rick P7. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing exactly how well the V-Carb is going to perform. I have hopes for both Tsunoda and Rick, honestly. I want to see them perform well. That would be amazing. Piastri overtakes Tsunoda. Let's have a look at that.
Now we're approaching turn 2.
Yeah, Alpine has been completely destroyed. That was a pretty nice overtake.
And Oscar Piastri.
I think Leclerc will get pole. It's funny you should mention that, because last year Ferrari did have a problem, but this year McLaren has already had a problem. Norris's car has already changed the control electronics, which you only get 2 of in a season. Basically, is on his second before the race weekend properly starts. So, yeah, control electronics can be painful. McLaren seems to be quick, Merc seems to be quick, Ferrari seems to be quick, Red Bull should be quick. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the season develops, honestly. I can't wait for qualifying. I'm actually streaming to just make time to go a little bit quicker. To get to qualifying a little bit faster. Okay, let's actually put things on properly here. I'm having a little bit too much fun just talking to you guys. I kind of forget how to play the game properly. That's one of the negatives of streaming. I have not watched the new Drive to Survive, no, unfortunately. I struggle a bit with the patience with that series, because they do like to take things out of context every now and again. So I haven't really watched much of Drive to Survive at all. Okay, so far it's going well. But yeah, I think the strategy is going to be pretty simple. We have Piastri Norris, we have them use up their hards. Then we're going to go into the mediums and the softs, and we just run them in a light manner. That seems to be the best strategy available to us. Just looking at the compounds and degradations. It should be okay. And for Piastri here, getting past this Alpine, this would be huge. So let's give him a little bit of help. I saw posted them using the F2 grid photo as the start of Silverstone race. I'm not following completely here. Oh yeah, F2 was actually kind of interesting too, because Miney got disqualified from qualifying. New Drive to Survive is funny with the episode about Hamilton's contract. I can see that, considering that we all know where he went. I see that being a tad bit interesting. Okay, it's looking good. Antonelli didn't do as well as I thought. Yeah, to be fair, it's his first time in like, if I'm not mistaken, he hasn't actually driven F3 or F2 before. So I'm willing to give the kid some time to adjust. Personally, we'll have to see if Toto is as patient, considering he needs Antonelli to perform this season. Prima's a nightmare. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. They can be fairly interesting. Yeah, if anyone wants to head over and watch the F2 sprint, feel free. I'm just going to enjoy a little bit of the game before. If I remember correctly, the F2 sprint is reverse grid, is it not? You haven't got the abilities to watch F2? Honestly, I like watching F2 every now and again, but I'm a bit too hyped for F1, honestly. Reverse from first to 10th. Yeah, they did mention that under during the qualifying yesterday. Found that a bit of an interesting setup. I don't think performance F2 has a massive deal with when it comes to F1 performance, because look at Mazepin. I did not know, bros. Who can you... I haven't actually checked the results even. Who was it that won? 16-year-old F3 winner. I do have a Discord server. It's not very active though. Do keep that in mind. It's basically just a place where you can meet up if you wish. And I probably should tell the server that I am streaming. In case there are someone who would like to come and chat with. You can find it in the description, something like that. Findlard? Or something like that. The link should be in the description, unless I'm mistaken. No, I got a little bit distracted. We need to get Piastri into the pits. Okay, let us get Piastri into pits here. We are going to go ahead, I think, and put him on a soft tire. The question is just how aggressive can we go on that soft tire? Can we push it all the way? Is it better to take care of it? I think we're just going to do standard. We could also run it light and push in the last 3 laps, something like that. But I think just getting him in, putting him on standard should be fine. And for Norris, we can probably run the medium on attack. We'll have to see. Lindblad, okay. That makes more sense. I'm gonna have a look at that actually after. He sounds kind of Finnish, honestly. Okay, so Piastri is 12. We need him to score points. Yeah, Knight, if you want to go watch the sprint race, feel free. Like, I'm not gonna hold it against you. I I'm just gonna enjoy streaming a little bit today since I had extra time before quali. But I'll probably have a look at the F2 highlights later on. Okay, time to get Norris in for his medium change, and these mediums should be fine running full attack till the end, I would assume. And Piastri should be quick enough here with these soft tires that I don't think Magnussen is going to be able to get away. It's almost used up hards versus not fresh softs, but decent softs. The problem is Ocon has gone for that same strategy, which is going to leave us in potentially a little bit of trouble. We need to get by, and we need to get by quick. There we go. I would trust you with presuming someone has a last name from Scandinavia. Well, I do live in Scandinavia, so just the blood part, which means what? Why am I struggling with words today? What's the green things on trees called? Help? I need help. What is the green things on the trees called? Leaves. Blood means leaf, and I have yet to see any other language than Scandinavian music like that. F3 is weird to watch at the start of the season because everyone is new. I might need to watch the F3 highlights too, is what I'm hearing. I've been able to figure out where I'm from. I'm from Norway. I'm not a smoker, Alex. When I was a little bit younger, I tried smoking just once at a party and almost passed out from coughing. But my parents were kind of chain smokers growing up, so I probably inherited a little bit of that. So, yeah. I personally do not like smoking or the smoke itself, if that makes sense. We're kind of in trouble here because we need to beat Ocon, and Ocon has the same tires as we do. That's going to be a little bit problematic. We're going to go ahead here and tune up the tires to aggressive very soon. Leaves, yeah. It's just something that I randomly came up with. So there's nothing deep to it. I just my younger self just thought it sounded cool. I used to play a lot of Crusader Kings, so that's basically what I used to call myself in those games. Okay. Gasper is looking good at the moment, but we can start pushing. We have a little bit of extra fuel. Norris is just doing his own thing, which is fine. Dude has the smoothness that makes him into an actual monster in this game. And what we really need to do now is just catch up to Magnussen, settle in behind, and recharge a little bit of that energy so we have enough to not only fight Magnussen, but take advantage of Magnussen to just get away. That would be amazing if we could do that. Okay, looks like we did get overtaken again, but we haven't given up. Running side by side there. Okay, Magnussen, I need you to be my shield at the moment. Can you do that for me? This season 1? I used to have a different username. Yeah, I used to have a different username, but I changed it because people were starting to add me on different stuff, and I found that annoying, so I decided to change it due to that. But yeah, I've been using both of those kind of interchangeably. But yeah, that is the old one is the one that I've used the most, so this is basically just mainly for YouTube. Okay, Magnussen is still being a good boy and defending us. I think we can just go full attack here and push away, deploy, get outside of the gap if we can now. And that should be this challenge completed. But yeah, you are right. I did use another name on YouTube first. Then I changed it once I started making more content later on.
Pack is low.
It's not even that, David. It's that people found my Steam account and started spamming my Steam page. And I found that very annoying. So that was one of the reasons why I decided to change what I called myself on YouTube.
Max Verstappen over the finish line and today's winner.
The Alpine may be slow, but God, is it beautiful. It looks nice, yeah. They used the extra 10 kilos. It's actually just paint.
That is the checkered flag, so we are boxers back. And it's
Okay.
P7.
We got Piastri's challenge done.
Alright, nice job.
Fairly easily straightforward.
Good job,
Take
everyone.
that.
Great job, mate.
What do I think is the best library this year?
Lando
I
Norris.
do
currently
like
on
the
our
green
screens.
ish of the Astons, but at the same time, the V-Carb or RB library does look neat. Kick looks interesting, let's put it like that. Yeah. Ferrari and Mercs, honestly, a lot of libraries do look pretty good this year. I don't know if I actually have a favorite library now I think about it. There are a lot of them that looks good, but the Sauber one looks interesting. Let's put it like that. Yeah. Okay, that's Australia. Let's see how far we actually get today with these exclusive scenarios. That's not what I want to go into. The race replays. Baku with the Aston Martin's 40 laps. Caspian Chase. Alonso was finish higher than 4th. Okay. It's gonna be interesting. Like the return to vintage Toro Rosso, I agree. Next F1, if everything goes to plan, it should be on Sunday, and we'll be going back to Hamilton's Ferrari adventure. I'm gonna buff everyone but ourselves a little bit more to give us a little bit more of a fight. I'm looking forward to that. What's my longest campaign in this game? I think it's my current... I haven't actually played any campaign that's gone past 26, because by that time you're usually just extremely dominant. But we might end up going into 27 with the current female save, because I threw everything away in the last 2 races. It's a bold decision to paint your car neon green, since it can be used as a green screen. Yeah, that is one way to describe that decision. I think the McLaren's is too basic. That's fine. The Kvyat P3 at Hockenheim. Okay, let's come up with a strategy here. Let's first have a quick look at what tires we actually have available to us. That's actually kind of the more interesting parts here. What you actually are given. And yeah, this is not a good combination of tires. Let's put it like that. Ours is a little bit better. He has 2 almost fresh softs, also a medium. The hards are basically useless around this place anyways, and we do have a safety car. Right, because the Reese crashed into the corner, and ruined his suspension, and had to force the safety car. That makes sense. Switch the team to the weakest one each time. I managed to win both VDC and BCC. Yeah, I would say I'm doing that. I'm gonna try and just keep on going like one season back-to-back wins. Women's Driving Championship made the most entertaining. It's very balanced. It's just so frustrating because they have so low smoothness that you are very, very limited in what you can do in terms of strategy. Last time I played F1 Manager, I won Bahrain by 40 seconds. Yeah. I've seen 2 people do the woman one. Me and some guy, American guy who has no clue. Honestly though, it's kind of fun watching people who have never played this game try and play it. I am very mental, like... I was about to say mentally, I'm in Maxa. So it's kind of difficult for me to nerf myself. Which is why I'm usually asked for help when making challenge saves. But yeah, it's very fun watching actually people who haven't played this game before have a go at it. because it usually results in pretty interesting situations and scenarios, to be fair. How would this go? Okay. Odds on attack are actually beneficial to us. We might try this with Stroll. Just want to check one thing first. If we go into a medium again, it's going to be around the same time. So the hards aren't actually completely used in this scenario because they're fresh. That is interesting. I think this is what we do for Stroll. Let's see what we can do for Alonso. We can do some shenanigans here. It does have 2 sets of soft tires that are basically fresh, which does make me want to do a 2-stopper like this. It's about the same as Lance, but at the same time, we can go attack towards the end of the life cycle. That was the wrong click. That's also the wrong click. Why am I silly? Yeah, we can go attack towards the end and still get a result from that, so I think this is what we do for Alonso. It should be fast enough. We could also just go with the same that we're doing with Lance here, go for the hard. How would actually 2 hards look? The fastest. Okay, because they're fresh. That's not actually a joke even. It's because they're fresh that they aren't going to be the fastest. I think we're going to see the same here for Stroll, honestly. Yeah. He doesn't even have fresh ones. Generally, going hards at Baku is not something I would recommend. Because if you have a look here, soft to hard, that's an 8/10 difference. Takes 20 laps for softs to become equals to hards, but when they're already used, it's a bit of a different story. Will I be returning to F1 24? Yeah, I do have actually some F1 Manager footage. I think that's what you mean. But I do agree with you that Brighton kind of served its purpose. But probably 1 or 2 more seasons once they get time to just sit down and edit. I'm a terrible min-maxer? Yeah. But I also see very new... Yeah, I've seen that too, Vario. They buy new powertrain components like Maniac and wonder why they're in death. I can't seem to sit there and just play without worrying about time. I guess that's fair. My friends get burned by a cost cap when the game come out. Yeah, the first season is usually just Crash Mania. That's the best way I can describe that first season. Everyone crashes every time they can. We're going to do something a little bit sillier. We're just going to double stack. Because I think that is the best bet that we have for us here. Just double stack. We're going to suffer a little bit. It's fine. I think it's a sacrifice that we will just have to make. And Verstappen has pitted. That's the problem. Did I miss from... Was there a... Yeah. Verstappen pitted early. He got screwed over by the safety car. That might change things. Because if everyone has already pitted, we're not really going to see any big benefits from pitting. But I don't think we have much of a choice here than just to get this done. Let's say that we don't pit immediately, that we just ride this out. With the way that we're losing tire, I say lap 50. Yeah, we're not going to get a lot more out of these tires anyways. So we're just going to get both cars in and work from there. Scale of 1 to 10, what is my opinion on Sargent? Sargent is an interesting talent, but he is error prone. I'll probably rate him over 6 or so, to be fair. At the same time, I'll probably put Latifi down to a 4.5, maybe. So he's not terrible. He is a bit error prone. But at the same time, I'm curious to see how he does this year. Because he's had his like test year now, or getting used to F1 year. Next year is going to be the one that actually matters. Well, this one, basically. I think we're going to gamble on double stacking and trying to make something happen. It's either that or we sacrifice Stroll. Yeah, we sacrifice Stroll. Because potentially we could have Stroll just hold up the field as much as possible. I don't realize how boring hospital is until I spend 5 days in there. Funny you should say that, Skitty, because last year around this, well, this time, no, well, New Year's, I spent a few days in the hospital, and I did bore my ass off. Because I had to wait a few days for someone to bring me a phone charger. It was incredibly boring, you are right. Yeah, the durability is poorly balanced. Alex, I do agree with that. You're actually going your second road trip? Just be careful when you're driving, Mario. There's been a bunch of tourists that have been creating headlines lately because of bad driving. So the biggest threat you're going to be facing on the road is probably other tourists. So I'm unsure what I want to do with Stroll here, though. Do I want to pit him? Do I want to have him stay out and hold up the rest of the pack? What is the correct play? Let's see here what we can expect in terms of where they're going to come out. 15 seconds. 15 seconds for Alonso puts him ahead of Ocon. 15 seconds for Stroll puts him behind Hamilton. Yeah, we're going to pit him. The reason why it's put behind Hamilton is because, well, he's going to have to wait for Alonso to get through the pits. That's going to slow him down. And there's a lot of cars that actually stayed out. That's a bit interesting. Unfortunately, Alonso did have not the best stop too, so that put him behind Ocon and Hulk. I still think that this is the best bet. Just get the pit stops out of the way. Because now we'll have an advantage over the 5 drivers that have yet to pit. Hulkenberg, Ocon, Verstappen is the only one that we're equal to, so I think this is the best way to do things. I think what might happen with Antonelli is that Williams sign him. That could happen, honestly, to be fair. But yeah, I hope you enjoy Vario. I have a few friends that also have enjoyed road trips. It can be very, very good. I think a lot of people would go for Antonelli as they go to reserve. I don't think you're wrong there. One of the ideas that also suggested to me in terms of what I should do to do in a video is take every driver and rate their victory radios. Which could also be fun. Yeah, I am looking forward to next year's game, I'll be honest. Currently there's so many new games that are coming out that I'm struggling with having enough time to kind of play every game that I enjoy. Which is a weird thing to say. There's too many good games, I can't play them. Okay, we're back under racing conditions. And Alonso immediately looks like he wants to try and get Hulkenberg. Was that Norris having a go at Hamilton? Stroll into 11th. And Alonso is getting attacked by Hamilton at the moment. Is he going to be able to keep him behind? Probably not, going to Castle. This is a pretty interesting fight, I'll admit. The best thing is we just have Stroll there lurking, ready to follow through if he's given the opportunity. And he kind of is. He's actually getting Hamilton. Why does Stroll always just turn into a monster every now and again in this game? It's kind of scary. Could do a similar challenge to what I did last year. We could do like a challenge save, but honestly, what I think I'm going to be spending probably this next month doing is probably just cleaning up every save that we're currently on, because I have a bit too many, and with my interest now in other games as well that I started uploading, it's hard to keep track of every save, so
Need a charge here.
it does make life a
Yeah,
little bit
copy.
harder. Should be fine actually just sitting where we are for a couple of laps charging ERS. Tires can go up to 130 as well,
Just
so we're
focus
not
on
really
charging the
worried.
pack.
Confirm.
Yeah, doing a similar challenge. I think honestly an interesting challenge could be, rather than minimizing durability, turning it to maximum. Try the max durability challenge. That sounds like something that would actually be challenging, to be fair. Probably not for like more than a couple of seasons, but at the same time, it would actually be a bit of a challenge to just turn your durability to maximum, while at the same time, you are playing with hard difficulty. For some reason, Stroll wins every race, every year in my saves. That's what I'm saying, Stroll can turn into a monster in this game for some reason. I don't know why. Tear the Stroll. Dread it, run from it. Stroll will always arrive. Max durability is going from hard to extreme. I think a hard durability, like no other restrictions. Hard difficulty, max durability, could be a fun little side quest. I also am still gonna be trying to do the 1 season challenge with Alfa Romeo. I haven't actually gotten to that yet. And then we'd like to do the hard version of that. So there's a lot of ideas on what I would like to do. It's just that I don't have the time to get all of it done in a way I can be happy with. Alpine Challenge could be the name. Honestly, that would actually be an amazing name. Could also be fun to try and start it with Alpine to see if it's viable. Maybe we do a stream one day where I just do like the first 5 or 6 races with Alpine.
Crash ahead, crash ahead, crash ahead.
Are we getting a...
Potential.
That scared me
Keep
because I thought it
watching
said the
Alonso
crash
with
was
this one.
Alonso.
The opportunity.
Yeah, Alonso getting Russell there.
2 secs. There's been a crash.
Let's see who's actually had a bit of an incident.
So here we
Show
go, heading
and
into turn 1.
Hamilton.
Dangerously close to each other. And oh,
Nothing major. Guess you would save some money for new cars with max durability. That's true. Save money on durability, lose money on sponsorships. What country do I think would win if the Olympics had an F1 event? I think I have to agree with Skitty. Netherlands is probably a good bet because Verstappen. Spain isn't a terrible choice either with Sainz and Alonso. Great Britain probably wouldn't, or Great Britain, England, Great Britain, depending on how you would look at it, probably wouldn't be a terrible choice either. Yeah, UK is quite strong. I agree with that. It would actually be an interesting, like, thought experiment that you could do. Instead of preseason testing, you have the F1 Olympics. Yeah, Hamilton, Norris, Russell. That's what I'm agreeing with here. I think if we look at it from like, a single person's perspective, Verstappen is gonna hard carry, but like, who's gonna be able to help him? UK probably has the most, complete lineup. Spain's gonna be strong. Germany, if we involve all race drivers in any category, yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, Jasper. I think we're doing well so far. I think we can speed things up a little bit because currently we are catching Verstappen. I'm just worried if Verstappen is going to do another pit stop, which I don't think he will. I think he'll actually going to stick with these Haas until the end. And that could be interesting in its own right. Which means we need to create a gap right now to Tsunoda, Ocon, Hamilton, Russell, as many of these as we can. Monaco for poles. The thing is, if we go after where they kind of are living, Monaco would have an insane lineup. Let's be honest. The Williams have just kept their ability to normal on some upgrades and kept the team in good financial position. That's a pretty realistic approach, to be fair, Robert. I think honestly the game probably would be more fun like that. Calvin van der Linde. What does he race in? I feel like I've heard that name before, but I don't remember. I don't follow really much racing except for a little bit of rally every now and again. Mostly just more local rally and F1. So the name rings a bell, but I can't connect it to anything. Which is not good. GT Formula E. Okay, touring cars. Probably wouldn't be a terrible idea. What I would also like to see in F1 Manager, just as a fun little side note, would be just have a Legends mode. Where you get like all the greats into your save. Kind of like what they're doing with F1, the F1 games. Where you can put all of your like super good, like the super good talents, legends into the game. I think that would be fun. Who do I think will retire next? Alonso, Hamilton, Magnussen, Hülkenberg? It's gonna be probably one of the Haas boys. Hamilton has a 3-year contract with Ferrari, I believe, or 2+1. So you say for at least 3 more seasons, including this one. Alonso is already starting to, you know, burn a little bit of bridges with Aston Martin, has some pressure to get a new contract. So I would think it's going to be either Hülkenberg or Magnussen, I would think. Which is unfortunate because I would like to see both of them win. Hülkenberg has some insane stats with how kind of lucky he has been in terms of not getting podiums or wins. Probably it would be a bit too much, yeah. The thing, I don't know where science goes, that's the thing, because there is a few interesting things that are happening. We have Alonso's contract that is running out, we have Sainz that is, you know, going to be let go. The Ferrari seat is going to be open, and basically, sorry, not the Ferrari, the Mercedes seat is going to be open, and the question becomes, do they give it to Antonelli, or do they try and do something like, try and get Alonso for a season, try and get Sainz for a season? So, Sainz could end up going to either Mercedes, he could end up going to Aston, could end up going to potentially Red Bull even if Paris doesn't perform this year, so might as well go kick, get in the Audi team here early, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things that could change here. Why is Alonso always having pit stop issues? Poor lad. That's not great, but we have finished the last pit stop. We're currently running 4th. We're gonna get by Paris easily here. Verstappen is not pitting again, unfortunately. But the goal was to get a podium, and I think we're going to be able to get a podium here with both boys. So I'd say we are looking to be within what we expected. I think Albon will get to see since a good relationship with Merck. Russell, and he's a good driver. Yeah, Albon is good. Like, he's solid. So, he isn't a terrible bet. But he does have... I don't remember how long his contract is, but he does have a long-term contract at Williams. And it does seem to be somewhat intent to just staying there. Yeah. The funny thing is, Mick, there was like a Reddit thread or like a news thread that Mick was trying to, you know, create a little bit like he's available for that seat, which would be... I don't think that happens, let's be honest. I don't think Schumacher gets a chance to go in a Mercedes seat, unfortunately. It's just reality. I do think Lawson is going to be going into an RB seat, and then maybe even Red Bull in the future, because he did have a good showing when he was given the opportunity. So I don't think that would be too much to kind of, you know, gamble on. Albon is possibly replacing Perez. Yeah, it could happen, honestly. Again, Perez is probably the driver that is the most under pressure right now. Hilariously enough. Because if the other teams are catching up to Red Bull, he's gonna have more than just one or two drivers fighting him for that second place. Vettel would be amazing if he came back. I would love to just see Vettel back. But yeah, I don't think we're getting anything more than that. Fortunately, it looks like we aren't catching Perez, but third and fourth isn't shabby if we can hold off the Ferrari. Probably now, the game is just going to be to recharge and catch up. And that game is actually the same for Alonso. He is gaining, so as long as we keep this going, we should be fine. Am I spoiled if I say that I would love to see Vettel and Alonso together last year in Aston? I do think Vettel is going for good as well, Vario, unless he has like a cameo as a reserve for a race or two. That's the only thing I can imagine. Fortunately, Red Bulls are just a tad too quick here. I'm not spoiled. I would love to see that though, like Alonso and Vettel racing alongside each other, trying to catch Verstappen last year. I'm just fanboying a bit. Yeah, I am. I think Seb will have another seat that under the year down the line, if there's a seat that needs filling. I always thought it would be good to have Vettel Alonso Ferrari. I don't know exactly if that would have worked out. Honestly, Alonso at Ferrari, that basically either Alonso would be absolutely deleted or destroyed mentally, like everyone who's ever raced for Ferrari, or he would have destroyed Ferrari hard enough that they would actually wake up and be a good team again. One or the other, and both of them are actually a good result. Well, one of them is a good result for Ferrari. I can't even imagine how that would actually go, to be fair. I'm trying to imagine it. I'm having a brain freeze. Yeah, I know, but like having both of those at the same time, because Vettel was just slowly getting destroyed, like mentally, over his stint as Ferrari. He was not having a good time. When was the last season Ferrari didn't get a podium? I don't remember. But like when I say Ferrari being amazing, I mean in the sense that they're winning a lot of races in a season. To be fair, last season was a bit of a misnomer in that regard. Ferrari did win a race. Ferrari no podium seasons. Google didn't tell me anything good, so I don't know. Was it one of the Vettel Kimi years? I have a terrible memory when it comes to F1, is what I'm realizing. Early 90s. Okay, that's even longer than I thought. Yeah, Ferrari, they're good. They're on the podiums. They are performing well, don't get me wrong. But I like to see them perform even better. I'm a little bit later for the stroll party. Let's see if we can get Paris. Belden Kimi won a race every year. One, I assume, won a race every year except for 2016. Yeah. Come on, Stroll. Second and third, not too shabby. We could have even maybe caught Verstappen if I was a little bit more aggressive with the pit stops.
Max Verstappen.
I say we can be happy with this.
Line and today's winner.
I was. But I was a kid.
Now, didn't Fernando Alonso look really great out there
Kimi
today?
wins 2017.
That's a well-earned result. From the factory and on the pit wall, that's a podium for the whole team.
I love that the only thing that pops up when I Google that is did Kimi win 2007. At least we did beat this challenge. Let's see. Do we have any fun challenges? Alpine? Ferrari, 51 laps. Let us see here. Ferrari lost, Hamilton lost 2007 because of Alonso. That is true, I believe. Not inaccurate. I want to have a quick look at the exclusive scenarios because I've yet to touch a lot of these. Rainy Bahrain. Should we do one of these for interest? Equal performance Barcelona. Tactical masterclass. I still love the radio comment that that Bottas made. Good weather for a duck. I think we'll just keep on doing this. Get to Miami with Alpine. And they must earn at least 7 points. I'm actually going to be impressed if they do that this year. Okay. So Ocon needs to pit. What does he have available to him? Mediums, basically, that we need to make it till the end with. He's in a good position, though. Give him that. Hamilton crashed in the pit lane. Is this in reference to when he ran into the back of... Like he didn't realize there was a red light at the end of the pit lane? Crashed in the back of the car in front? Pierre Gasly. Let us see what we can do. I think just going full attack and then pitting once we used up the halves is going to be the best bet that we have for Ocon, and he's going to be most likely the one that scores points for us. Now Gasly is a bit of a different kettle of fish. Because if we pit, we're going to have to pit onto a soft tire. Cars in front will have to pit for the most part. Hulkenberg, Tsunoda, Hamilton. Sainz with a penalty. Question here is, do we go full attack and then go on to the soft tire? Would be about 3 seconds quicker, and that is without taking into account that we are going to go full attack. So yeah, I think that's going to be the best bet. So yeah, I think we're just going to go full attack with both cars, push a little bit of fuel, and then we'll see where we stand. Anyone want to share their lineups for the F1 Fantasy? Curious what other people have actually picked for that one. Let's see, we're actually running with Ocon alongside a bunch of other cars, so it's not bad. Gas is if he can close the gap too. 7 points is probably on the table, I would think. But it's gonna struggle a little bit to kind of keep up. I still think that we do have chances to make this work. We're just gonna push these hards completely into the ground. As long as we can stay somewhat with the Mercs, it's gonna be doable. Go ahead and push fuel, push energy, keep up. Gasly should be able to just fly by Tsunoda, I would think. Maybe needs a little bit of help. Also pull down on the risk. Gasly being stuck isn't exactly good. Albon, Verstappen, Hamilton, Rick, Gasly. Why switch Gasly? Yeah, the problem is who do you switch him to though? That's the thing.
ERS is disabled.
Copy.
Used a little bit too much energy there, but they have started pitting. I picked him before the car looked awful. Yeah, I'm thinking more of a cost perspective because Gasly is one of the cheaper ones, to be fair. I'm considering Bottas, honestly, just because I could find it a bit interesting. Verstappen, Rick, Ocon, Gasly, and Tsunoda. You're having big hopes for the Alpine, I see. I think this is when we do pit Ocon though. Get him onto that medium. Run it standard for a while, go attack towards the end. And we're gonna just allow Gasly to push it as far as possible. Another slow pit stop. Funny thing here is, if we didn't have slow pit stop for both Alonso stops at Baku, we would have actually won. Deadline is in about an hour. I think you're gonna have more luck with Tsunoda rather than Gasly, to be fair. It's a shame because the Alpine just has completely fallen apart. I'm also looking forward to seeing how the Haas is gonna perform tomorrow in the race itself, to be fair. Is it just a website? Yeah. The website is just f1fantasy.formula1.com. It's on the official Formula site. I do not have a league. I don't even know if there's a league involved. Ah, there are leagues. Can you join more than one league? I need to just have a look at it after this, maybe sit down, either make a league or maybe make a viewer team. That would be fun. That could be interesting. I think what we're gonna have to do now is go ahead and pit Ghastly so you can actually get something out of those soft tires towards the end. Although, to be fair, now that I'm having a look at this, it might have been better to just have him stay out. But I do think with 13 laps to go, will these be able to run full attack? No. Aggressive is viable. So we're gonna do that. Gonna be slightly quicker. Didn't let you submit. Could it be that the name, someone's already taken the name, so you need to make another name? Come on, beat Stroll out at least. Good. Are you?
Okay, Magnussen's off. So watch for them through that.
Magnussen.
You're right, though.
All okay, all okay.
Completely
13,
out.
6,
What did he do? Would imagine that is a red flag considering he's blocking the pit
And
exit.
just like that.
Well, maybe not a red flag because they'll just, you know, wheel him directly into the pits. That would definitely close the pit lanes for sure. It is good for Ocon though, because as long as we hold on to 6th, we should still be able to get the challenge done. It does tell you if your name is taken, yeah. Do you have have you completed your team, Jasper? Okay. Then I don't know what the problem would be, unfortunately.
Copy.
Definitely run aggressive till the end. To use the Haas as a shield at the moment and get away from Hamilton. Although to be fair, running behind Hamilton could also be the play. Yes, they should be able to get Tsunoda. I don't know if he has the pace though to get Leclerc. That's going to be a difficult one. You're making a worst possible one. Okay, what is your worst possible team? Now I'm curious. I would assume Alpine is a given. Alpine has, and who else? Who is your 5th unfortunate victim? Sargent? Or is it, why are you betting on, or are you betting on the kick? The Sauber is doing worse than the Haas. Welcome back, Knight. Hope it was a good sprint. Ocon did get away, which is nice to see. Just gonna have to hope that he can actually stay ahead now. 40%. 2 more laps, then we can go full attack, I think. Gasly should be getting Tsunoda here. And he's actually closer to Leclerc than I thought he would be. You can, Jasper. I'm just not guaranteed that I will answer said question. Hey Nathan, hope you're doing well too. The second design video you made to do the same thing from your first video where you design a couple of times. Do this as you want. You can make several designs in order to build expertise before you make, you know, one that works. That works. Navalny, I unfortunately don't know a lot about him. I know Putin doesn't like him. But that is unfortunately the extent of my knowledge. Lock on!
So this is what happened. Things were all right here,
You think Kick will be worse than Alpine?
and the controls lost, and that certainly wouldn't have been in their plans today.
That would actually be kind of impressive, to be fair. Yeah, I would say Kick and Alpine probably are the worst teams right now. Yeah, I unfortunately don't know much about him, Jasper, so don't really have an opinion. The only thing I know about the man is that he basically is, or was, one of the biggest opponents of Putin was facing, and that he died in prison. That is about it. I'm wondering though, are we saying that Alpine, Kick, and Haas are gonna be the worst teams? I'm wondering which drivers you're putting in. Yeah, you can basically, the way that I usually do it with the parts, Nathan, is that I would make a part, focus on the stats that I know that I'm lacking for a couple of iterations. For instance, I focus top speed and then make still a cornering piece that just had a little bit of focus on the top speed part as well. Both Haas, both Kick, and Sargent. You really... I assume you're a bit of a fan of Alpine then, JJ. To be fair, it wouldn't surprise me if they do make a comeback, Jasper, because we saw McLaren last year. They were horrible at Bahrain, tragically bad, and then by the end they were getting podiums. So it's viable, it's possible, but I definitely have no big hopes for them now in Bahrain at all, unfortunately. Yeah, I do agree with that, JJ. That's kind of the way, it's the same way that I'm thinking about it. Like, Alpine has some development potential, maybe, at least more than I'd argue that that Haas and Sauber has to some degree. But they're also very, very good at not getting results, if that makes sense. So we'll have to see. 7 and 8 ain't great, particularly when Ocon was ahead of Hamilton but had his spin. But I think we'll take it here. Yeah.
Max Verstappen over the finish line and today's winner.
Let's see, 7 and 8 is still acceptable because I believe that is enough to beat the challenge.
Esteban, that is the checkered flag.
Okay, so you finished P7.
If I was Komatsu, I would
Well,
not
some
develop
race
anything this season, invest everything
Thank
for
you
next
for that.
year. That is the Haas
Very
formula,
well done
though.
once again. Really, really good, strong weekend. You've earned that one, so nice work.
Probably would be the most terrible strategy to make
That
a
was
car
a
for
checkered
next
flag.
season, and then because next season
Now after
it's the last season with these regulations. So probably wouldn't be the worst thing you could do, but at the same time, it seems to have been what Haas has been doing a lot for the last few years. Throw one season away to focus on the next, have a little bit of a gain, lose it, and then back to square one, unfortunately. Okay, we did Monte Carlo in a video. Do we want to do Barcelona? It's a long race though, 51 laps. Yes, we'll do that. Can I take control of Ferrari's strategy to get the Spanish driver into top 4 and his teammate into the points? Let's try that. I'm actually impressed how stable the stream has been, because it used to struggle. today is going well. We must score at least 11 points. Let's see, what is the current situation? Verstappen on the mediums, the rest of us on the softs, Leclerc on the hards. Medium and hard is what we have available to us. Okay. I think Leclerc has the best setup here because he has 2 fresh softs. Softs at Barcelona are amazing. Which F1 driver has the best name, in my opinion? I honestly don't know. I wouldn't really rate names, so I genuinely have no idea. Let's see if we can set up a strategy here for Leclerc, where we do take advantage of his 2 soft tires, because as you might know, I'm definitely a fan of the run the softs as light to get hard performance out of them around here. And that usually does work out pretty well. I think this is what we're going to do. We're just going to start running the hard set on aggressive. Because I'm pretty sure that is the fastest we can do with Leclerc, with what he has available. With Sainz, it's going to be a little bit of a different story. Medium say we can probably run light. That'd be 490. Is that around the same as we're doing for Leclerc? Oh, sorry, 2450. Yeah, basically identical. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Let's see. Is there anything else we can do that would be better? Because I don't think going full attack here is gonna, you know, work out for us. I just want to see what the difference would be if we were to try that. It would be slower with the extra pit stops. I think this is just what we're gonna do. We're gonna run this for Sainz. We'll have to see though if the mediums suffer with the heat. Same here really for Leclerc. We'll have to make some changes, but I think that's gonna be the best bet. So we're just gonna use up these softs now. We're gonna pit, get ahead of the curve. And for Leclerc, I think we're just gonna have to run. I think we can run aggressive without suffering too many problems. So that's what we're gonna try. I think that would be fine. Okay, so currently Leclerc 24 seconds behind the leader, Sainz 5 seconds behind the leader, Verstappen with the mediums. Getting a winner is going to be difficult, but if you consider the fact that we are supposed to just score 11 points, I say we have a very good chance of getting that done. So I am not worried at the current moment. Now, when we pit, we're probably going to come out just around Leclerc. So we could probably just have him step aside. Sainz is currently a little bit stuck behind Hamilton at the moment. Getting an overtake done before we pit would be good for confidence. And Alonso, Piastri are pitting. So it's kind of what we expected here, that everyone is going to start pitting around the same time. Let's turn down the aggression level before we go into the pits. And let's see where we come out if we have a bad pit stop. We do not. As expected, we're going to come up behind Leclerc. Which is fine, honestly, because we can actually use this to have Sainz act as a bit of a DRS pulley for Leclerc, making life a little bit easier. Show ran off the track, ran wide of spun. Nothing big. Lockup, actually. Yeah, I'd say currently we're looking to be in a decent position, and I am tempted to turn Leclerc up to full attack. I'll be honest. Am I not watching qualifying? I'm planning to watch qualifying, but qualifying starts in... unless the F1 TV lied to me. You're making me worried. Does the qualifying start in 45 minutes? Are you scaring me? I should probably pause while I'm checking. Are you scaring me for no reason? Yeah, qualifying hasn't started yet. Well, it starts in 45 minutes. But yeah, that gave me a fright, Robert. I thought because the F1 page has lied to me before. Or rather, my computer probably wasn't set to a correct time zone or something. Where it told me an hour off on a race start at one point, and that made me very upset. So you did fool me there for a second. It would be 5 PM for me, so GMT +1, I assume. Football Manager's been listed as a reason for a number of divorces. I think every game could be a reason for a divorce, let's be honest. That's more of the fact that you're spending more time on a game than you're spending on your wife. That can be a problem with anything, really. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's more of a player issue, personality issue than the game, I would think. Perez has had a lockup. I guess the game is being kind of kind to me after we had that horrible couple of races with AlphaTauri. We had Verstappen getting absolutely deleted with the Haas save by a backmarker. And now we have Perez just getting sent to the Shadow Realm. Football Manager's having a standing record compared to other games? Does it? This is the first time I've heard of this, but I'm wondering, has there been any research done on any other games, or is it just Football Manager that's been focused on? That is important that Leclerc actually makes it out ahead of that 4-man DRS train there. That's actually going to be huge. We have a decent gap now to work with as well. Sainz is a stop behind Verstappen, but Verstappen is going to have to stop again. And the question, he's probably not going to do more than just one stop though, so that could backfire a little bit. I still think that we are looking at the best strategy available to us. Gasly catching Leclerc, which is okay, I think. Do need to get past him though. A bit extra energy to use should do the trick. Yeah. I think also the Football Manager is used because it is a game that can, like, if you get really into it, a day can pass without you really realizing. But most games are like that, but again, Football Manager, football, not everyone loves spending a lot of time with that, so you can see the comparison. But the same can actually be said for F1 Manager, Minecraft even, if you will.
And just a reminder on
Yeah.
gas.
Suddenly the day is gone, and you've had fun, but at the same time, kind of regret spending the entire day just playing a game. I had that a little bit with Palworld too, honestly, when it first came out. Because it filled that itch, basically, when that was basically what you were hoping Pokemon was gonna become when you were a kid. Yeah, I'm just 2 more races and I'm done. I can do that quick. Nah, I'm just gonna set up the car for next season. I'm gonna have to test it in Bahrain. Maybe a couple more, and then it just keeps on going. I doubt it, just due to player numbers. Like if the numbers improve, maybe, but until that happens, it's gonna be tough to compete. Because the thing with comparing Football Manager and F1 Manager is the difference in lifespan. Football Managers had 2-3 decades to develop their game. Well, 2 decades, probably more like it. 3 decades. I don't actually know when the first Football Manager came out, but they've had so much more time to develop the game and build a user base, fan base, compared to F1 Manager. But I could see it happening if they stick with it, if F1 continues to grow. But they're gonna have to add some more variety to keep people playing more than just a couple of seasons and then say they're done with the game. Yeah, Football Manager does have more widespread appeal due to the fact that you can just take over your local club and, you know, create a bunch of different stories like that. It definitely has a bigger appeal due to it. But I think as I said, if you add F2, F3, a more robust driver academy, things like that, just more depth would do wonders for people having more fun and longevity with this game. Also, having the regulations work in a different way. Basically, have engines change how they perform. Have the regulations work in a different way. Like 1 year, with these regulations, cornering is going to be your best stat, but the regulation change changes the rules of how you can build your car, making top speed more valuable. Things like that would be nice. But it's hard to really make a decision on, I feel. Okay, let's get Sainz in. A little bit late, but I think it's going to be fine. He still has a decent gap here, and let's be honest, he's going to be able to get Hamilton and Alonso, because both of those are going to have to pit anyways. Leclerc's doing good. It's looking well, looking nice so far. I think we're going to do okay here. Yeah, for those of you who have seen my Football Manager, say with Brighton, it's basically just a youth academy. Let's be honest, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. Like really, really a lot of fun with it. So yeah, the racing of talent is something that I always love to do in any game. Yeah, that's the thing, Jasper. That's kind of why F3, F2 would be great, or just making your own team would be amazing. Adding more difficulties, some randomization on the regulations could be massive, or just giving people the ability to make events and edit the game a little bit more themselves. But I think it's also some restrictions from FIA, the rights holder, that probably is limiting what Frontier can do with the game, unfortunately. Let's see what we can do. So Sainz is going to be running these mediums till the end. 100 degrees, so we're just on the border. I think this is fine with Sainz, honestly. As mentioned, Alonso, Hamilton, both of those are going to have to pit. I don't think we're catching Verstappen again, but we should be able to catch both Hamilton and Alonso. And Leclerc is going to need to pit this lap. Did kind of focus on the wrong thing there for a second. Alonso and Leclerc, Alonso and Hamilton, Jesus. I'm not used to playing top teams, so I consider the wrong drivers when making strategies. I consider my own driver a threat. How would making your own team work when there's only 10 teams on the grid in real life? I would honestly just add it as the 11th team. But honestly, I don't think FIA would like that, because it seems like everyone is kind of against Andretti joining. So having an 11th team join in the game probably wouldn't be amazing. But it's how I would have done it. It's the thing that makes the most sense. I believe most tracks are actually set up for 12 teams, so it wouldn't be actually a problem. But yeah, I would probably just go ahead and add it as the 11th
There's a
team.
yellow
I feel like that
flag
would just
now.
be the easiest way. Yeah, I would love to see my team on F1 Manager. Like what we're currently doing, race moments, is actually pretty good, but like the impact from race moment, the impact from game sales would be so much higher if they just timed the release of the game to the start of the season, and then just had for maybe the first like 2 weeks balance patches to actually get to where the teams are, where the drivers are. Or just, again, release the game a couple of weeks after the season starts. I would use the 2 first races as kind of balancing for drivers and cars. And I think you'd see a lot bigger sales if they just said, like, you know what, we're going to delay the release of this one, work a little bit more on it, and release it when the season actually starts. Because that is like the biggest waste of free marketing I think I've ever seen. Like, can you imagine just having a boot at Bahrain, for instance, with the game for people to try before the race even? Like, people would love that. It would be so much free advertising that I think the game would do probably twice as well as it's doing so far. Yeah. Yeah, I do agree with that, Vario. That's a bit problematic to have to work with getting the car liveries in. But again, worst case scenario, have a livery update a month into the game. It wouldn't be terrible. People would understand, like, oh, we are not privy to the liveries. It's going to take us a little bit of time to get them into the game. But we understand with the new season, with all the excitement, you'd want to play the game basically as soon as you can. So there are ways to work around it. There are excuses to make. Yeah, Jordan, I don't think it's gonna work like that. I think they should have done that with the first game they released. Is the thing. They should have just said that the first game we release is gonna have to be somewhat well polished, because 22 wasn't the most amazing thing when it first came out. Let's be honest. With a little bit of polish, it could have been even more amazing, to be fair. Just gonna run him standard for now. That should be good. No way we're catching Verstappen anyways, unless he has a puncture. Leclerc is up Russell, so I'm gonna focus a little bit here on trying to get up 1 or 2 more places, maybe get Leclerc podium. There we go. I know that. Like, they don't have the stats of the cars, they don't really have the driver stats. Well, they have the driver stats mostly. But it's basically the balancing act of trying to guesstimate during testing where the cars are and then balance them according to that. It's going to take a lot of effort, but if you have 1 or 2 people, like off week between testing and the first race, whose sole purpose is to balance each car, I think you could get it done. Driver stats done at the start of the season is what they said themselves. Q1 starts in 30 minutes, yes. I'll be finishing up the stream before qualifying begins. Driver stats are done at the start of the season, and particularly for last year, the McLaren sucked massively, but even then, everyone was very critical to just how badly they did Piastri. So, the company, Frontier, said, we do driver stats at start of the season, we do car stats at start of the season, we do not balance over the course of the year, and people kind of accepted that. Which speed do I use in race without stream? Because with stream, I'm slowing the race definitely to read chat. I usually run it at between 4 and 8x. 16x is just so easy to miss things. If I know that, like, Sainz here is guaranteed to get second, unless he has an incident, I'll turn it up to 16. But with Leclerc, who actually has a chance of getting Hamilton, I'm going to keep it a little bit slower in order to not throw away that chance. So it depends on how things are going. I usually play in 4x most of the time. Use 2x if I want to take things a little bit slower, relax a little bit, have a look at the cars, because they do actually look pretty nice in this game, let's be honest. And also this view that makes people sick sometimes. I have a friend that tried to watch that view, and guy actually got nauseous. Like, he got vertigo. But yeah, most of the time 4x, 4 to 8x, 16x if there's nothing I can do. How many crashes am I expecting qualifying in the race? I don't know, actually. I don't think there's going to be many. It depends on how on the border we're going to be seeing a lot of the cars, because there has been a lot of cars struggling with some of the curbs. So we could see a little bit of a struggle, but I don't think we'll be seeing anything major. Should have gone to attack a lap earlier, and we have Tsunoda, I believe. Being a little bit of a block. Or was that De Vries? It was De Vries. Sorry, Tsunoda.
Max
Unfortunately,
Verstappen,
we don't have what it takes to get Hamilton.
And today's winner.
But I'll take second and fourth.
Taking the flag. P2, P2.
When they wanted Leclerc to score 1
solid
point
weekend.
and Sainz to get fourth. That's
Yeah,
not
good
bad.
job, guys.
You did a super job there. Well done.
How's Max not getting a puncture? As long as you're over 20%,
Okay, so
you
P4,
are
P4, good job.
safe from punctures. So the only one who could have gotten a puncture here is just Tsunoda.
The car was incredible.
So yeah, as
Now,
long as you don't go below 20, you're fine. But at the same time, you start losing a ton of performance the second you go below 30%. And if we take a look at the data view here, a lap history of Verstappen. Let's see if we can figure out his tire. You can see he was doing 17.7s, 17.6s, and then after his tires dipped below 30, you can see it became a lot slower, a lot quicker. So yeah, 30%, you're usually fine before that, to be fair. So I wouldn't be too worried. Leclerc Hill, so you can kind of see that we did push, but we didn't have all that we really needed to catch her. Unfortunately, the back mark of the Rees probably stole the opportunity to fight Hamilton, but I can't be too upset about that. Bahrain isn't really a crash-heavy track, to be fair, so I don't expect to have many crashes either. Technical failures, punctures would be nice, like if there is an incident, astral debris on the track would be nice. So yeah. I'd say we can be very, very happy with how this went. Am I excited for the Chinese Grand Prix return? I don't know. The track is interesting. I like it in when I drive F1 23, I think it was. One of the F1 games I played. It has to be the newest one, F1 23. I like driving it myself. I don't know how it's gonna work out in game or in reality. I do think that F1 is getting to the point where they have too many races though. So it's gonna be fun to see them drive on the track, but it's worrisome. Yeah, honestly, any track with a lot of overtakes is gonna be make things a lot more interesting to watch. So I probably should be more excited for the return of that track than I am, in all honesty. Let's see, we have about 25 minutes to get done. Let's see if we can find one good challenge to do before that. Japanese GP with Alpha Tauri, maybe? The Suzuka Showdown? I think that should be fine. Just earn at least 2 points. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because you're gonna limit the team's development, you're gonna limit their budgets. It's just a lot of pressure on both the drivers, but also all the staff, so you're getting already to the border where burnout is gonna become a real problem. Do I use the database editor or mods? I use the database editor for the Hamilton save, but generally haven't done it for anything else. There just haven't been a need. So I would like to try and do a mod like 91. There is a 1991 mod that I would like to try at one point, but I have so much going on this channel that I need to kind of close some of the current games before I start making new ones. In 5 years, I expect every race to be a sprint weekend. Yeah, that does look like the way we're going. Sprints 2 are adding a lot of extra pressure on the teams, let's be honest. There's a lot more work for the mechanics, for everyone, really. Add more races, stipulate reserve drivers would drive a certain percentage of a team's race. That would be interesting, though. But at the same time, you'd have to either make certain races reserve drivers only, or a lot of teams are going to be very strategic about when they use their reserve driver. Let's see if we can figure out the strategy here before we continue our chat. So let's first take a look at the tires. Lawson has a hard, 2 use softs. Tsunoda, I assume, is in the same boat. He is. Now, what can we do with that? If we stretch the mediums, we could do something like this. Yeah, no, we don't want to go on the hards earlier than we need to. This seems to be the best bet, running them aggressive like that. Can we do anything with the hards and the soft tire? If we turn the medium full attack, for instance, what would that look like? It's gonna most likely be slower. Maybe not. It's kind of difficult though to decide, but I think we're just gonna do the same strategy for both here. We run the hards on aggressive, and we run a little bit more aggressive medium towards the end of the stint, unless we have any incidents that change things up a little bit. I think that's going to be the best bet here for both of our cars, and we do not wish to drive in clean air. Just me clicking a little bit more violently than I need to. There we go. That should be both cars set up. They are running together in 10th and 11th. We need, well, to gain 1 position for each driver, or have one of them finish, well, basically we need just one of them to finish 9th. We want 2 points. It is a bit of a weird situation. Leave it to team choice. If it's reserved for teams, then those races lose value. I guess that's fair. But at the same time, if you want to talk at it from a value perspective, any race where there is reserve drivers rather than the main drivers, what would you... let's put it like this. What if you come to a race to watch Hamilton, Verstappen, Leclerc, and the reserve drivers there instead? Would you feel cheated? Would you want to get your money back? Or is that just a risk you're going to have to take? So there's a lot of questions to answer even with that as your goal. Yeah, the burnout and develop issue still stands. That is true. True as well, JJ. Reserve drivers just... they're not sitting on their asses doing nothing. They are still developing. You are right about that. That is how it works, then we will have more F2 drivers as reserves, I guess. But yeah, I think the F1 teams are gonna at one point we're going to reach a breaking point, and then they're going to be a discussion on how they're going to go moving forwards. There isn't really much there is unfortunately not much we can do with it right now. And I feel if you have mandatory reserve races or users, then it's starting on basically just a team having 3 or 4 drivers. That's true. But also, if reserves are going to have to drive races, the question is going to become, basically, you're going to have 2 questions there. Are reserve driver points going to count for the team, or are reserve driver points going to count for their own championship? Because if it counts for the team, like having a 3rd driver, then sure, you'll get more drivers into F1. There'll be more competition, but at the same time, it's still going to be a bit rough. So it's a difficult question to answer, let's be honest. How does help with ERS work? Are you talking about the battle assist here? This thing. Basically, it allows your driver to decide when they want to use ERS for attacking and defending. Generally, it is slightly slower than you dealing with it manually or just toggling it off, but I like to have it on. I feel like it makes things a little bit easier when you don't have to micromanage ERS constantly. Kind of messes with the championship too if drivers aren't doing every race. Yeah, there's just too many variables that need to be taken into consideration if you were to try and do something like that. I just don't think it's going to be viable, unfortunately. Race predictions: Verstappen wins. Mercedes, McLaren, Ferrari, and Aston fights for the remaining points. Either that or Paris has a surprising win, gets a boost in confidence, and start talking about winning the title before Verstappen takes it personally again like last year. I think we'll be seeing Verstappen winning. I think we'll be seeing a McLaren and I want to say an Aston on the podium with Mercedes, with a Mercedes in 4th. But all the teams seem to be pretty close this year. That's the thing. Limit main team drivers to 20 races per season. Could be. Much as I love F1, I feel like part of the hype is waiting between weeks of gaps. The thing is, that is true, because when you have the big like 2-3 week gaps, you know that one of the teams there is going to come with one heck of an upgrade. Or could, bring a pretty decent upgrade to make things even more interesting again. So that is part of the charm of F1, honestly. Like what we saw with McLaren. They just became better and better the longer the season went. So I do agree with that. Financially, the main way that F1 has grown, just a few years ago, F1 wasn't really financially viable, to the point where the F1 organizers begged Red Bull to buy a secondary team. That's how bad the financials were in F1. So financially, they're not in a bad place right now. They are growing, but there's a limited growth too. Adding more races is gonna take away from some of that wonder, some of the fun, some of the interest, honestly. Because at one point you're gonna reach saturation in the market. You're just gonna have too much, and it's gonna diminish the value. So I do understand your point, Derek, but at the same time, at one point you just end up with too much, and that's gonna be detrimental in its own way, if that makes sense. And also, if you start having drivers kind of quit because of burnout, you're gonna start losing value from that as well. Yeah, there's a lot of, let's be honest, there's a lot of difficult questions pertaining to F1. So I'm not gonna pretend that like I'm a expert or anything. But I think F1 is financially healthy in its current state. And while everyone is greedy and wants more money, I think it can backfire, potentially backfire badly. Let's see what we can do here with this hard set, if we can catch 9th, because that's what we're going to have to go for, Ocon. And Gasly is going to have to pit at one point, I would think. 15 laps to go. Might be that we've chosen the wrong strategy, we'll have to see. Hamilton, Gasly is going to be what we're hoping for. We're not really close enough to Hamilton, so we're going to have to put in some good laps here from Tsunoda. And right now, we're not really doing it. Well, compared to Hamilton we are, but at the same time, we have some cars ahead of us that we'd like to catch up to as well. But the longer this goes, the better it's going to be, because we're in the hard tires. If you have to increase race, I think you should decrease race length. Yeah, I don't see that one happening. If anything, I think, like, let's be honest here. If FOM was allowed to, I think they would just give us 3 sprints every weekend, if they could. You qualify on Thursday, you have sprint on Saturday. Sorry, you have sprint on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then we do it all again, every week, the entire year. So, yeah. 50 minutes to the end of sandbagging. Yeah, it's 15 minutes until the quali starts. So I think I'll have a quick look at the F1 fantasy team after this, and maybe make some changes. Let's see if we can actually have Tsunoda do something. With just 5 laps to go, going attack should be more than viable. Gasly should fall far enough back that we get him for free. The question is if we get anyone else for free, if anyone else loses enough tyre. Stroll should be possible to get. Hamilton's going to be difficult. Same with everyone else here, really. Which district am I from? I have a really comfortable, nice accent, thank you. I'm from Norway, Northern Norway. But I have played with a bunch of English people, mainly. British people and Canadians, which probably have influenced my accent over the years. Also than anything else. Gets to know to buy. There we go. Now we just need to chase down Alonso or Hamilton 3 laps. Yeah, I don't see that happening. We can pray, but unfortunately I think we're a bit too passive here. What does top up do? So top up is as you can see here, if you harvest, you generally get an extra megajoule in your battery. If you're on top up, you basically end up gaining 0.2 megajoules a lap. So you lose less lap time, but you recharge less. It's basically a easier way to stick with other cars while recharging your battery, if that makes sense. Not possible, me too, but I don't speak like that. Well done to not have the typical Norwegian English dialect, yeah. The potato English. Hello, I am from Norway. I like hvitost. But yeah, Norwegian accents can get pretty funny, and we might actually pull this off.
Over the finish line,
just barely.
and today's winner.
Also, it's gonna have DRS though, which is gonna be bad for us, but we can hope at this point. We're not gonna have any DRS, which is gonna be problematic. So, yeah, Alonso's not gonna have DRS, but neither are we.
We leave it to you.
Copy.
Come on, Tsunoda, do it. Yeah. Now you get Ocon as well, just for good measure, without any battery.
No DRS available, no DRS available.
we had bad Riemann might have gotten him on the drag race, but
Check reflect.
did get the objective done at least.
Good job, guys. Thanks again.
That's another race all finished. And there, of course, we have the Alpha Tauri driver.
I think I do,
A
Jasper.
P9 finish today and some points on the board.
That was actually a fun stream because there was a lot of questions about kind of everything. We did achieve the objective. GDs. Kind of similar from Poland, but grew up with English-speaking people with hybrid accents. That is kind of how it goes with any language, really. Unless you do a conscious effort to not really have that happen. But yeah, there's about 10 minutes until qualifying. And I'm going to go ahead here and give you a quick show of what I've elected for my fantasy team. I might switch out Gasly with what I've seen. This is kind of just for fun, more so than being anything super serious. Also, I've been made aware that my 3x coin is a single use over the season, so don't be silly like I did and use it immediately. But yeah, I'm going to go and have probably, as I said, a replacement of, I think, Gasly, unfortunately. But I think the McLaren and Ferrari team could be a fun little gamble. I do think that the RB is going to surprise a little bit. Keep Gasly will surprise everyone. I guess we could. But yeah, if anyone has any suggestions for improvements or want to tell me that I'm silly for picking a driver or a team, feel free. I am kind of Toro Rosso fanboy with these lineups, let's be honest. But it is what it is. Can't believe I followed you for a long time and never knew you were a fellow Norwegian. I've hidden my accent well. Clearly. But yeah. Used to play a lot of online games with English people that had cleaner accents than I did, and it developed into a proper accent over time. Replace McLaren with Ferrari? Are you thinking, if you have a look at the right side, is that what you actually were looking for with that? Because Team 3 is basically that, replace McLaren with Ferrari. I used the money to replace Albon with Alonso. So I might already have that, Jasper. Yeah, I think this would be some funny, just for fun. I'll have to see if we... This is my first time actually playing F1 Fantasy, so I'm not too caught up on the rulebook. There was a comment on one of my videos that asked what I was planning to do for F1 Fantasy, and then I took a look at it, so I think it's gonna be fun. Slice has always been good, is the thing. Like, he's not bad by any metric. Like, Claire's just Ferrari's wonder child, and he does give everything he has during quali, so he generally starts higher up on the grid. And generally also performs slightly better, but Sainz isn't bad. He's good. I do like Sainz. I'm a little bit unsure where Williams is actually going to end up performing, but Albon generally does well, so he's not a bad choice for 7 million. I do find it interesting that both Piastri and Norris are as valuable as they are. Yeah. Yeah, I think that is going to be it for the stream. I'm going to go and quickly put together some food, get ready for qualifying. And we'll have to see if I stream again sometime soon. Hope everyone has enjoyed the stream. It was fun streaming again. Might be that we, again, stream some other time. Probably. Maybe some other games. We'll see exactly what we end up doing. But yeah, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. Have a good evening, everyone. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!